Hey guys, and welcome back to another manga review. Today we're going to go ahead and move on to the second chapter of the Hunters Guild Red Hood. I appreciate everyone that clicked on this video. Thank you for clicking on and checking me out. Please, if you like the content, give it a like, comment, please subscribe and ring the bell, and don't forget to drink your daily amount of water. Alright, with that being said, let's get right into it. So last chapter where we left off, Grim and Velo just essentially blew up Granny Werewolf, took care of her real quick, they buried the mare, and now Grim's trying to adopt Velo. This chapter opens up with another great color panel. I'm really starting to like the color panels that Yuki gives us. Yuki Kawaguchi, that's his name. That Yuki gives us because it really sets the tone and the atmosphere for just the environment and the type of story that he's setting up. It really flows well, and I'm enjoying every chapter starting with a nice one of these color panels. So moving into the chapter, we get another explanation of how werewolves work. We get more explanation of, they transform randomly, it's overnight, and one day they just start eating flesh and they get all these werewolf powers. Obviously, now that they're hinting it more, I feel like a lot of the story and some of the back end of it is going to be figuring out what causes werewolves. Is it going to be some kind of disease, magic? I know they said they mentioned witches, so maybe there's a witch controlling everything or that's turning people into werewolves. Either way, it's completely established that the Hunters Guild was specifically put together for this purpose, to destroy monsters and eliminate every single one of them until there's none left, just like they said in the last chapter about the dragons. Then we cut right back to Grim and Velo, right where we left off. Grim is explaining to Velo that she wants him to join the Hunters Guild. They'll take literally anyone that they possibly can, any man, woman, child. She really just wants him to join the team, which, really? They just take the first person that survives every mission? No wonder not that many hunters survive. However, Velo says that he's not about that life whatsoever, and he actually declines the offer, which I genuinely really liked. I thought that was great character development for Velo. I thought that really showed that he's not just going with the plot, and he has his own motives and his own direction. Grim just starts shaking him violently, going, "Why? Why aren't you going to join? You need to do this." Talk about persistent. However, once again, Velo brings up a really decent point, and I really like this. He explains that how is he supposed to believe that they're going to exterminate all the werewolves? It's kind of hard to exterminate all the werewolves when we have no idea how people even become werewolves. I mean, we can kill all of the ones that exist and 10 more could pop up randomly in a different space. I feel like Velo really does bring up a good point with this. I mean, if anything, trying to figure out where werewolves come from is a pretty decent start. Basically, at the end of the day, as long as humans exist, so will werewolves. Now, I'm not sure why there's such a emphasis on werewolves right now. I mean, the manga did mention last chapter, part 1, werewolf hunting, so maybe it will split off and there will be different sections of other monsters, because they did mention witches and vampires and everything, so I imagine they're going to tie everything into it and it's all going to come together. Velo, who for some reason is more capable than any other adult man in the hamlet, explains that he needs to take up the mayor's mantle and he needs to protect the hamlet because now that he's not there, who else is gonna clap werewolf cheeks? Velo asks what's up with Grim becoming an adult, and I would like to remind everyone that's reading this manga that until we get any sort of explanation on this whatsoever, this girl's 10 years old. Grim, of course, gives us no explanation whatsoever to important information here. Grim mentions that if Velo's gonna stay in the hamlet to protect it, she might as well just make it safe so that way Velo doesn't have to worry about the hamlet, which, you weren't gonna do that anyway? Grim then tells Velo to hold on to the mayor's axe. She tells him that it's precious, and if you remember last chapter, she actually acted a little suspicious about it. There was a small little panel, I think, that mentioned the axe, and she wondered if it was something, maybe a hunter's tool or a legendary tool, who knows. Cut to our new werewolves for the week, Naraoia and Dodou. Naraoia's crying, he's mourning for Granny's death, and Dodou asks who falls for that old lady trick anymore. Dodou, I think you found your man. Dodou says that now Granny is dead, they can take over the hamlet and make it their territory, which, thank God Velo didn't thrive for a life of adventure and wanted to protect the hamlet, otherwise they would have dipped out and everybody would have been fucked. Now, they're supposed to be watching them from afar. Like, it shows them a couple, a little bit of ways in the forest, but They're literally screaming. Dodou admits Naraoia likes to put circle blocks in square spaces, so he's about as smart as Velo. Once again, they're right fucking there, dude. They're literally like 20 feet away. No wonder they fucking found out about your dumbasses. Spoiler, but it's not a spoiler because if you're watching this, you probably already read it, and if you didn't, thank you for watching. Moving on, we've got this awesome double page here, along with the best fucking bell ringer this side of the Mason-Dixon. Best boy, bell guy. My man stares danger in the face. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Then we get a look at this ugly motherfucker. Looks like transforming is something that most werewolves can do. However, when you compare them to look like other humans, it's kind of obvious. And I find it kind of hard to believe not a single villager looks at this guy and goes, who the fuck is this? He concocts this amazing plan to lead them all out of the enclosed space into the open forest where they all have a much better shot of getting away from him and running away, instead of literally just getting them all right here, right now, while they're in the cramped space where you literally could just pounce. Why does everyone add so many extra steps to everything that they do? Naraoia gets annoyed at best boy bell ringer, and this man is so dedicated, truly an inspiration. Grim just pops up behind him, asks him for the bell, and this boy has the audacity to say, no. This guy never backs down from danger. Absolutely fucking nothing phases this man. Grim ends up taking the bell and literally mollywopping Naraoia with it right on the top of his head. Honestly, the most Chad thing I've seen in the longest amount of time. And I've seen Bell Guy. Not sure how Dodou exactly sees this alpha energy, but he does. And right on cue, Velo's running up in the hut with a gun, looking for the werewolf. Dodou feels very confident in his plan. Foolproof plan, right?
False.
Velo just finds his ass immediately because apparently he's the only one that pays enough attention to anything in this hamlet. I mean, besides Bell Guy. And then we get a flashback of somehow, despite all of the steps that our duo took to remain in hiding, Grim noticed them. And Velo is literally that friend in your car that when you explain that there's a police car behind you, he literally goes, come on, man. This guy's got a long way to go before he becomes a hunter. Anyway, Velo literally explains to the werewolf that it's kind of hard to stick out when your face literally looks like a crab claw. And we end the chapter on Velo pointing the blicky on the back of Dodou's head, and Grim, after dismissing classes early for the day, looking Chad as shit as she waits for Naraoia to make her day. Now, everything seems to be going according to plan, but I'm sure Velo will find some way to fuck this up. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it again. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment. Let me know what you guys think about the series so far. Let me know how happy you are that Bell Guy survived to the end. And please check me out in the next one, guys. Bell Boy, best boy.